As you can see, we're not on the boat. The boat is hauled out, and starting in the next episode, we will start sharing our refit process with you. But it's extensive, and that means there's no living on the boat. We don't have any power, we don't have any water. The boat just isn't habitable at the moment. So we've rented a little apartment, a living room, 1 bedroom and bathroom, and a little bitty kitchen, including a refrigerator, an induction burner, a microwave, and a toaster. That's it. That's the whole thing. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Sean. Come along on our real-life adventures as we explore the world and boat life on our sailing catamaran Rome.
Now let's jump back into the episode and see what's going on. Before we left for the Bahamas, we provisioned up for what we expected to be 3 months abroad without having any good access to groceries. As it turns out, we were gone for 8 weeks. We did find a few places in the Bahamas where we could buy fresh things. They were expensive
and pretty decent quality.
So the burning question, and we've gotten this question many times following that YouTube video, was how did we do? People want to follow up, so this is it. We're going to follow up. I will go through with you what we got too much of, what we didn't get enough of, and lessons learned, what we plan to do differently next time. At the end of the last episode, I made some predictions. What I thought we were going to have too much of, and what I thought we might have too little of. Let me make a few predictions. Prediction number 1. We are going to have way more sugar than we needed. Brown sugar, white sugar, sugar, you name it, way too much sugar. Let's see how we did. Let's start with what we got too much of. Practically everything. So before we left, I predicted we would have too much sugar and too much flour. And I was absolutely right. We baked bread in the bread machine probably every second or third day. We still have, let's see, we purchased 55 pounds of bread flour and came back with 25 pounds. Overdid the flour by quite a lot. On the plus side, that means that we're going to get to reclaim some space the next time we go out. We're going to have more pasta than we need because we don't really eat that much pasta. We also have too much rice, too much oatmeal, too many canned tomato products, too much pasta. The truth is we're not really pasta people. I don't know what made us think that we were going to start consuming an absolute mountainous quantity of pasta once we headed out for cruising. I also think we're going to have too much frozen fruit and frozen veg. Do you remember that enormous freezer we got? 100-liter Dometic freezer. Well, when we left, it was full. Let's see how we did. Whew, still an awful lot of stuff. Plenty of chicken, plenty of fruit, plenty of veg, plenty of mozzarella cheese. Yeah, an awful lot of stuff still. One of the other things I was certain we had too much of was frozen fruit. We use those for smoothies, and we still have a mountain of fruit left and a mountain of protein powder left. I said then, how many smoothies can 2 people eat? Clearly not as many as we thought we might. Oh, and then there's the dry beans. We probably used a couple of cups of black beans and exactly zero of any of the other dried beans. We had some that were canned that went into chili, but other than black beans and garbanzo beans, which we had plenty of those in cans, we just don't use that many beans. I don't really like them that much. Honestly, I don't know what we were thinking. When we made that video, we got lots of comments about our cracker consumption. And we must really love Ritz crackers. Well, let me tell you, We do not love them as much as we thought we were going to love them. We ate an absolute mountain of cheese and crackers. We served them to company. It was a really good passage snack, and yet we have like practically an entire tote left. So yeah, overdid that a bit too. And then there's the canned tomato products. We still have an absolute mountain of diced tomatoes and tomato sauce and tomato paste. I don't know what we thought we were going to be making. That's more chili than we could possibly eat, although we did make plenty of chili. We did not make a lot of pasta sauces because, like I said, we don't eat a lot of pasta. Another topic that I think deserves mention is alcohol. Cruising and booze seem to be joined like this, but not for us. I don't drink any alcohol at all. It's a huge migraine trigger for me, so I guess I've been the designated driver for the last 20 years. As a result, Shawn drinks very little as well because it's not really very fun to drink alone. We have bottles of rum that we inherited on the boat that we are still going through, and we share liberally with friends because otherwise we'll never get through it. We have usually got a bottle of wine for cooking. Otherwise, it's just beer. We massively overbought. We went wild on what was a good price at Costco, and that happened to be Sapporo. Did not drink a single one. There were a couple of cases that we bought that were German wheat beers. That's what he likes, and that's what we went through. Yeah, the other thing is that we were thinking we were going to be offering more to people who came on board, which we did somewhat, but a lot of times when people come to your boat, like for sundowners or something, they bring their own drink because provisioning is hard, alcohol is expensive, and people will generally bring a cup of whatever it is they want to drink when they come to your boat for sundowners. So you're not going to actually share around as much as you think you will. And yet we totally failed in one department. We mentioned when we were in Costco that the mark of a quality ship is the quantity and variety of snacks. I've heard the measure of a good ship is the number and variety of snacks.
It is, and we're in the place for it.
We definitely failed on that account. We are down to one remaining bag of pita chips. We went through all the pretzels, all the other chips, all the cookies. We thought we were going to bake cookies. Well, clearly that didn't happen by the quantity of flour remaining in our stores. So we could have done better there, and that's something we will keep in mind next time. So you might be wondering if there's anywhere else we really fell short, and there was one specific other area, and that was plant-based meat, like plant-based sausage or ground beef, because I get really bored of tofu, and as it turns out, we didn't catch nearly as many fish as I would have liked or hoped to supplement my diet. So that I could have done better on. I think we would have made better use of that freezer space with more of that and less of, well, everything else that was in there. Yes, I'm in the bathroom. Here's the reason. Provisions are not just food. They're like your paper goods, your paper towels, and in this case, toilet paper. We have always had a rule. You never run out of toilet paper. Never. Not allowed. Not okay. So overbuy. Here's what happened. We were expecting to install bidet toilet seats in our boat before we left for the Bahamas. So we didn't massively stock up on toilet paper. We just didn't think it was going to be as necessary. Well, as it turns out, we didn't get the bidet heads installed. So we did end up buying more toilet paper in the Bahamas. That's a mistake we won't make again. Holy cow, it was expensive. Don't run out of toilet paper. Just don't do it. Let's talk about some lessons learned. One, and I mentioned it earlier, but it bears repeating, if it's something you don't eat at home, don't buy it because you're not suddenly going to eat it because you're living offshore on a boat. If you don't eat it on your land life, you're not going to eat it in your sea life or your boat life. Number two, your eyes are bigger than your stomach in almost all situations. All right, three, I think it helps to actually do some real meal planning. Decide what you're going to need, what you can use when your fresh stores are low, how much that requires versus when you think you might be able to restock your fresh supplies again. I've been hunting for a really good provisioning app, and if anybody has something that they really love, please drop a comment below and let me know. I could really use a little help in this department. I don't want to overbuy next time around the way we overbought this time around. There's another thing that I wish I had done, and that is plan my passage meals a little bit better. I am looking at the possibility of dehydrating meals the same way you would if you were backpacking or camping, so that all you have to do is put boiling water in it, let it sit for 15 minutes, and poof, you have food. It's definitely on my mind as something I would like to try out. Have you done that? Please let me know. Thanks for joining me on this recap of how we did provisioning for our 3 months that turned into 2 months in the Bahamas. I hope it answered your questions because we've gotten a lot of questions. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like. Also subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you'd like to know when we release our next episode on YouTube. We'll see you next time. Bye.